Welcome
to Needles and Sprouts.
Needles and Sprouts.
Episode
10. Diez. Is that what we say in Spanish?
Diez.
Diez. Well, I'm just making up stuff over here.
I'm Whitney,
I'm Tori.
and we knit stuff, and we garden. So we are Needles and Sprouts.
I'm going to echo today. Because that's pretty much what I am here for.
Yeah.
I have been so in love driving around because there are plants everywhere and blossoms
tulips and daffodils.
Like, I drove kind of across the county the other day and I was just driving so slow because I was like, oh, look at all these pretty
Springtime.
colors.
The leaves are turning just a little bit of green.
The cherry trees.
The pink and the white.
The pink, what is that? A flowering plum. The flowering plums.
Cherries, plums.
Flowering pears.
Crab
I love
apples.
Flowers.
All sorts of things.
My crab apples haven't bloomed yet.
Yeah, I think they're a little bit later. So actually,
my apples, they're like this.
But flowering plums and cherries and magnolias. There aren't a ton around here, but
my sister has a beautiful magnolia.
We live like half a mile from the library, so we like to walk down to the library, and in one of the yards there's a big beautiful magnolia tree. So we've been on magnolia watch, and every time we walk past it, I hold up my daughter and I'm like, look at the bud, they're really fuzzy. And then as they start to open, and now it's in bloom, and soon it won't be
People
anymore.
say you can't grow magnolias in Utah, and I don't know. It must be trickier, but
It's
my
trickier,
sister has some very successful,
you
very
see them.
old magnolias.
And when I worked at Sun River, black tulip magnolia, that variety, it's really pretty, was very popular. Like
Wow.
they'd sell out in a second.
Yeah, but the difference is they can sell, but do they grow?
I know.
Like in my neighborhood, people buy maples, they put them in, and then they die.
Oh, maples do terribly.
My neighborhood has something. There are maples in Utah that do okay, but not my neighborhood.
Maples like acidic soil, and acid here is very alkaline, so most maples are very yellow. That's an iron deficiency as well.
Yeah, I'll say that's iron, not.
Yeah, but also that the soil has a lot to do with it as well. So anyway, I pruned my roses, and I went to Rose Society this week.
That's fun. My rose is alive that Whitney gave me. I had to transplant it. I transplanted it from one place.
I didn't give her a rose. I gave her a cutting.
Oh, she gave me a cutting.
Like, just a branch like this big, and she grew it.
You just stick it, you put it in the ground, and then it will grow roots. Anyway, it was in one place, and then I think it needed more sun, so I moved it somewhere else, and then I had a traumatic yard experience last year where I had to move a bunch of plants, so then I moved it somewhere else at a not great time to move it, and it is alive, and I'm so excited.
Alive.
Every time I move it and it comes back, I'm like...
It's a mystery rose from my front yard, meaning the rose was there when I moved in, so I don't know what variety is, but it's a giant pink, like kind of a hot pink, beautiful blossom.
Smells good.
And it smells amazing.
Which is why I planted it.
It's so, like the color, if I would have just seen it in a picture, I would have been like, no way. But seeing it in person and smelling it and seeing a whole bush covered in these hot pink, beautifully fragrant roses. And I've looked and I've researched and still can't decide what rose.
My mom has one that's very similar, so I wonder if, and it is also I don't want to call it historic, but it's an older one. But I love planting flowers that have meaning. Like a lot of my flowers are just bulbs that came from someone else, or columbine that came from my grandpa's house, or a forsythia I took a cutting from. Forsythia is also
that bush out there? I mean, is that the?
It's that forsythia.
Okay.
That's a store there. Well, I have an ugly forsythia that I bought from the nursery, and it finally looks like maybe it's okay. But
Yeah,
the
it
one
looks
that's
good.
huge. So when everyone loves forsythia. So here's a forsythia tip: you can take a cutting after it is done flowering, like this big. And I think that one I started inside, so I put it in a pot with some potting soil. I probably put some growth, what is it called? Rooting hormone on it, just on the roots. You just dip it in, and I started a whole bunch, and it rooted after a while. Another thing you can do if you have a forsythia and you want more forsythia, is you bend down one of those long branches, and you just put a little bit under the soil, and where it's under the soil, it will root. It's called layering. So if you want more forsythia, because everyone wants more forsythia in the spring. It's not that remarkable later in the season.
Yeah. Growing up, we had a hedge of it, and my mom was like, I hate that forsythia, and she ripped it out.
I feel like people prune it really rudely. Like they don't do it in a way that it can show its natural form. They like to prune it like in a
like
form,
boxy, yeah,
and
like-
it ruins it.
That's what we did. We always just went zoop, zoop.
And then it will
With a
it will
chainsaw or
it just doesn't. It's a hedge trimmer probably.
Hedge trimmer, yeah, that's whatever.
Kind of the same thing. But anyway, we can talk about pruning forsythia. But please don't make them look like hedges. They're beautiful, big things. They're getting too dense. Prune out the thick branches that are in it, and it'll look a lot airier. And you can take height off of it, but don't make it look like a box. Plants don't want to
Yeah.
be in a box. Now I'm off my box. And we can talk about knitting.
Yay, knitting. Okay.
Wait. Can I go first? Because this is exciting.
Go first.
Okay, guys, I finished both my socks. Look how cute. They're stretched out now because I've been wearing them every night. But
look at that.
there's my first
This
pair of
was your
socks.
dream, was having hand knit socks.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, it's self-striping socks, right? And when I wear them with pants where you can't see the top, they look like they match. Like the stripe pattern
Oh, they
matches.
do.
Which I kind of
Just
did.
kind of-
One time I tried maybe to match it up, but not really. But the tops don't match at all. Not that I care. I don't care. But I just thought it was funny that they
Yay.
match.
So this is knit out of
Patton's Croy sock yarn.
yeah. So I'm pretty sure I gave this yarn to Tori and I got it at Joann's once upon a time.
Yeah, and they have quite a few colors.
Yeah, they do.
And when I was reading reviews just now, because I was trying to decide if I wanted more for my kids to make them socks, some people really like it. It is not
It's-
as soft, perhaps,
Yeah.
but people say it will
It's a
last
re-
forever. It's
yeah,
like
it's
a workhorse
yes,
yarn. So
exactly.
if you want soft,
Hey,
maybe not. Can we talk about your Sprouty yarn?
my Sprouty yarn?
Your yarn project, that Sprouty.
Oh, well.
This is cool. I really
actually,
like
yes.
it. Am I doing it in the wrong order?
No,
I just
not
think
at
it's
all.
so cool.
This is for you.
For me?
I made it for you for your birthday.
So excited!
Yesterday was Tori's birthday.
It was my birthday. It was the best day ever.
And I wanted to get her something, and I was looking at all sorts of stuff, and this is the pattern that I ended up
wanted
doing.
a cactus. Good, because I always want to buy a cactus.
Do you like it?
I love it, and it has an orange flower.
I know. Well, I did two different. I could have
That's
done them
fine.
both orange, but I thought the
No,
one's
I
pink
like
and one's
the
orange.
colors. Yay!
Let me show it up close. So this pattern
She
is
put it on Instagram, so I knew about it, but I didn't
Yeah.
know it was for me.
this pattern is called Woolly Cacti by Lucille Randall. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and it has 3 different versions. I like this little bobbly one, and look, I crocheted these flowers.
You did?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think I did it exactly right, but who cares?
You guys, about my birthday. First of all, it's the first best day ever. We talked about that last time. Second of all, my husband made me pain au chocolat, which is like
fancy.
pastry, like puff pastry with 81 layers. He did like math with my daughter as he was making it, but it was good.
Wow.
He's really nice. I told him to buy the stuff from Trader Joe's, and he was like, "Oh, I saw a YouTube about that. I've wanted to make some." I was like,
Okay.
"Okay." Not what I would have done. I would have just taken the easy way out. Someone's like, "Hey, just buy this for me." I'd be like, "Probably, maybe would have done that. I don't know."
Yay, happy birthday.
I'm sorry. I totally like asked for that. Woo.
You like it? I made it for you.
Yes,
and
I love it.
As I posted to Instagram, I was like, oh, Tori might see this.
I did see it, and I thought
And
it
you
was
did
awesome.
see it,
I was like, I
but-
wonder if I could do that. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Whatever. But I made it for you
No.
even before I posted that. Anyway.
So if that was, how many finished works do you have?
I have
A lot.
1.5.
Okay, you do your one, and then I'll do
Okay.
my other birthday
So,
knitting thing.
should I do my big one or my small one?
Big one.
Okay, so I guess technically it's not finished because I haven't blocked it, but the knitting is finished.
I didn't block my socks, so you can.
Yeah, but this socks you don't have to block. A shawl you really should because the pattern you just can't. It's all bunched up and the stitches are all squished.
It's pretty.
This is my Winter's Moon shawl by Julia Wardell of Pandia's Jewels. She's a yarn dyer. Here,
It's
will you
pretty.
hold that?
Oh yeah,
Hold
sorry,
that
I was
end.
distracted.
No, that's
looking.
fine. So you have this broken seed stitch, which makes up most of the shawl, and then you have this really pretty lace and like faux cable section that runs up the whole. See how it needs to be blocked because this is
It's curling a little.
curling
bit.
up. Yeah.
That's a pretty.
But it's so pretty, and the texture of it is super bouncy. And
It is squishy.
the yarn that I use is really squishy.
It is squishy.
And I wish I would have blocked
verified.
this. I've had it done for like almost a week, I think, but I just haven't blocked it, and I should have blocked it. And last night I was
okay.
like, I could block it tonight, but
It
then
was
I
my
wasn't-
birthday. You
I
got a
wasn't
free
sure
pass.
if it was going to be dry in time to record, so I didn't want to do that.
Oh, really? That's a good thing to remember. Takes a while to block.
Yeah, well, it takes a while to dry, so.
Oh, because you
'cause you have
can't
to-
put it in the dryer.
Right.
And you have to like squish it and then it's squished. Okay, I understand now.
So I am so pleased with this shawl, and I think once it's blocked and you can really see this pattern, it's gonna be really pretty. And I've just been wearing it. This is the first shawl that I have that is like
Looks like a shawl.
you could wear it, but it's big enough to like cover your arms when you wrap it around yourself, which I love that. This is the first shawl I have that. So
It's actually a shawl, not an oversized scarf.
so I can sit in my living room and watch a movie with this just wrapped, snuggled around me. So anyway,
It's an arm hugger.
I love this shawl, and I can't wait till I get it blocked. And now that it's getting too warm to wear a pure wool and alpaca shawl, it'll be ready
You know
for
what?
me
It's
in the
Utah
fall.
in spring, so
It's
probably
true.
next week.
And even in the evening, sometimes
Yes.
it can get you just want like a little lap blanket or something. I think
That's,
this
like,
would be perfect. So-
My house stays cool as well. We go outside once more and we come in, it's cool, so.
Yeah. So I love it. I love it. I love it.
All right, so I'm gonna go back talking about my birthday. So I really wanted some Chiagu needles, but I'd already overspent. So when I pointedly told my husband I needed at least one present that showed me he had thought about me on my birthday. But I didn't make any suggestions because he's like, well, does it have to cost a lot of money? And I was like, no. But then I was like, but not like a candy bar. Like it has to be something more than that.
It needs to be substantial.
But anyway,
not
so I
necessarily
like
expensive.
was trying to find mind bullets. And I even made a list just in case he asked of things that I wanted. But anyway, I'd already spent a lot. But anyway, he surprised me with this, which isn't Chiagu, but it's still better. It's better than
It's an
better.
interchangeable needle
Yeah.
set.
So and then I have
So-
cords,
Looks like you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different.
and I think it was because I was
Needles?
really complaining. My sock needle has bamboo tips because Joann's you can only get bamboo tips, and it has split on the needle tip. So I kind of
Oh.
sanded it down, and then I had
Yeah.
to take it all off, and I
That could be
switched
a
it.
pain.
So like my main needle isn't the one that has like a snag.
Ugh.
But I'll talk about this in a second too. I got some new yarn, and it's a lot snaggier than the patents. So I was just complaining, and then complaining worked with my husband because he like wants to fix
Yay.
it and wants to fix. So I was glad.
Yay.
However, he had to go to like a store which we shall not name because all the other craft stores don't have quality needles around here. I don't know.
Yeah, the best place is online.
He doesn't know about yarn shops. So I was like, well, next time you want to buy me a knitting thing, there's these yarn shops that are even closer to our house that you can go to because there's 2 on Center Street and I live just off Center Street. So,
Yeah.
I shouldn't say where I live. Don't stalk me. So anyway, I'm excited. But I wanted to ask you, Whitney. So I was like, oh, can I knit a sweater? How big of a circle do you need for a sweater? I tried to look it up and I wasn't a
It
quick Google
depends
answer.
on if you're knitting it in pieces, you can use a shorter needle, or
I
if you're
wanted to
knitting
do
it in the round. In the round, you'd probably want a 24 to 36 inch.
Yay.
I don't know.
Because this, I think there's a 21, they're not labeled. That's how you know it's maybe not. Anyway, there's a 20-ish one and a 16 cord. Then there's a way you can connect them.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So then I could have a 40.
So yeah, you should totally be fine.
Okay, because I might be really adventurous. I was watching the Fat Squirrels.
You were
I
watching
was.
Amy Beth?
I was watching the Fat Squirrels.
Wait, look.
Oh,
A while ago, before we'd really gotten into podcasting, I was like, this is a podcast that I think you would like, because Amy Beth and Tori, I just feel like
We
Tori
are
would
different
really
people.
appreciate
we don't put
the way that she talks and her wit and her humor and her love of gardening and books and I don't know.
I only listened to one and it was like why she knits, but she was talking about how before she when she started knitting, she just knit this outrageously hard sweater and she just did it. And she said
before she knew how hard it was supposed to be or something.
yeah, and she said she wore it into a knit shop and someone informed her that she had like knit it backwards. But you know, she didn't care. She did it and it was awesome. And I have figured out how to not knit backwards. Like one that switches color. I think I might try that. Just,
You mean like color work?
yeah, color work. That's the fancy word. Because I really like the ones that have yolks. They're like Icelandic.
Yeah, and there's some that are
Easy.
simple but
Yeah.
still look really great.
Yeah, I found
there's
one
some,
with just 2 colors.
Yeah, there's some really, really good yoke.
Okay, so well, we went to Harmony for my birthday and because I finished my socks. So it was kind of like a 2-in-1 trip.
Harmony is our local yarn store.
Yeah.
In Provo.
And there's a teacher at my daughter's school that I have like marveled at her sweaters for 2 years, ever since my daughter's been at that school. But turns out she's connected to the Harmony Yarn Shop, like her family owns it. And I was like, well, that makes sense, but I like want one of her sweaters. So I'm gonna, hers are pretty, they're pretty colorful. So I'm gonna do something simpler. But that's one of the reasons I was like, I want to knit. Make one of those cool sweaters.
Yeah, yeah.
The thing I couldn't figure out is, are these needles, they're like 7, 9, 11, and maybe 5. I have it written down. Are those good sweater needles? What size did you knit this with? Just tell me that.
Yeah, this was
So I have
like
a-
a size 6, I think.
Okay. Because that's about the right.
It just
what
depends
what
on your
I want.
gauge and the yarn. Like,
Right, which is why I couldn't ever find an easy answer.
but I feel like if you're knitting a DK to worsted weight sweater, between like a 5 and an 8 is a good range. 5, 6,
Okay.
7, or 8 to.
Yeah, because that was one of my challenges when I was looking for needles, is I never quite knew like what I would need because I haven't been knitting that long.
Yeah, so this is a DK weight sweater and I knit it on a size 6 needle. So if you're using like a worsted weight, I usually would knit that on like a 7 or 8.
Okay. Okay, that's really excellent because I was like, this looks exciting, but I just need to verify that it is as exciting as I wanted it to be. Okay, cool. Thank you. I love birthdays,
Yay!
especially birthdays when your husband. You're like, I didn't even tell you I wanted those. I like sent you mind bullets.
Husband for the win.
Yeah.
Yay.
Next time I'll talk about the Chiagu ones.
Yeah.
They're a little pricier probably
They're
than this one
pricier,
was.
but they're so. I love my Chiagu interchangeables. Like I love them.
Yeah, I think
I love
the
them. Like, I
the
haven't looked
point
back.
looked a lot better. But I
Yeah.
think while I'm learning, I still I push my needle a lot still with my finger. So it's probably better to do that with a less sharp
Yes, I see. Yeah.
tip. So this is probably a good learning set.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm really gonna stay a knitter for a while. I feel like I will because I really like it.
Yeah, you're good at it.
I'm good at it, guys.
Yeah. I just have some more blanket squares.
Do you see Whitney's blanket squares?
So, oh, that keeps following me around.
Marianne also likes the baby. The baby also likes these, so I'm gonna tuck them in here.
So these are the ones that I finished last time. I had 4, but I just have 4 more finished ones. That,
Holy cow! Can I make socks out of this?
Isn't that that's the same yarn that I made those bright socks out of.
You need to tell me what that is.
It's from Yarn Cafe Creations.
Okay, well,
but
I started
haven't
following
seen
them
her-
on-
I haven't seen her dye in a while.
Yarn Cafe Creation.
And there's that one. It's a little more neutrally, and these obviously have not been blocked or ends woven.
Holy
in.
cow!
So yeah, these are my 4
My
more
word.
blanket squares.
I'm gonna go sock
like-
yarn shopping.
I
with
particularly like this green with this crazy
Yeah.
neon orangey, and then this blue.
Do I need to?
No, it's
Okay.
fine. So that's what I'm working on, and then I have. Oh no, I have another one started, but it's literally just 1 row. But I was so excited because as I was digging through my.
Is this all sock yarn? It looks.
Yeah, it's all sock yarn. It's all fingering weight. Wow. It's all fingering weight.
You could have made some bodacious socks if you just
Well,
like, switched.
I still have like 1,000 minis. I was digging through my yarn stash and I found a mini set that I forgot that I bought, also from Yarn
So
Cafe
cute.
Creations. And I wound them all into ball. Look at these neon. Aren't those awesome?
Those are beautiful.
Like, I cannot wait to add these to my to my
Yes.
scrap blanket. Yeah, it's gonna be so good. I'm really excited. Anyway,
I really hope you've made socks out of all of those.
I have not, because they're just minis. Like, this is the entire skein.
Oh,
Right here.
But you can make one really bodacious sock.
I
with
mean,
all
I
of
could,
those.
but I
That's
probably
what I
won't.
would
I'll
do.
probably put it all into my scrap thingy.
Yeah, because you need something to liven this one up.
Yeah.
This one's very earthy.
Well, and I kind of like that because then you can balance out the really bright ones.
Yeah.
With the
It's
less-
like, back to a garden metaphor, it's like planting your whole garden with orange marigolds. It doesn't look good. Like, it's just like too much.
It's too much orange.
Too much orange, you guys.
Break it up.
Write that down. I said too much orange. For my birthday, I wore an orange cardigan and orange pants that were tapered with white. Just so you know.
I just want to add a note about this mini set. I got these at the Great Basin Fiber Festival,
Oh, that I was supposed to go to you with?
which is coming up
Oh.
in May 10th and 11th.
So we can buy ourselves presents!
Yay! Well, I can't because I'm on a diet, but I really want to go. And if you want to go with me, I would love to be able to go with you.
I'll have to finish my other pair of socks first.
Why?
Because
so
I'm
you
not,
can-
I'm not just gonna buy yarn. Like, I'm trying to control.
Yeah. Well, so am I. Which is, it's not a very good idea to send a yarn addict to a fiber festival. But they also have other stuff too. Like, they have a lot of fiber for like spinning, and I don't know, whatever.
Spinning. That's your job. Speaking of yarn addicts.
But Yarn Cafe Creations and Dragon Horde Yarn, Tristan and Christy will both be there in their separate booths selling their yarn. So
Speaking of yarn addicts, I read this book. I'm sure most of you guys have if you are knitters, but if you're like me and are a beginner knitter, is that focusing?
which one?
Knitting Rules.
Knitting Rules. I don't know if I've actually read this one.
It's a,
This is Stephanie Pearl McPhee. Which
She
most
is
people-
humorous.
Yeah, she's
and
the
she
yarn
makes you
harlot.
feel really good about being a knitter and like awesome. Hat, socks, scarves, and sweaters. I'll have to look at that one. But she also really like beats it into you that you really just need a gauge and it'll make your life better.
Yeah.
Because I'm the kind of person that probably might skip that because I never gauged when I crocheted ever because I like to, you just want to start. But anyway, and the other thing that I thought was interesting that I haven't seen anywhere else, she said to wash your gauge, your swatch,
Yeah, you.
and like block it.
Yeah,
because
you-
that's not something I had ever seen or you never mentioned that. So I was like, oh,
Yeah, you wash and block it because that way it'll give you the finished, what
yeah.
your finished project
and if it'll
product,
shrink maybe with just
or if
normal
it'll
washing.
stretch.
Oh,
Mostly it grows, especially if you're working with superwash yarn. Superwash yarn will
Yes.
always grow.
I've noticed that with my socks. They're super baggy now. So is that, so my socks are out of superwash and they are now baggy. Do you think that's why?
Well, you haven't washed them, have you?
No, I've just worn them a lot.
Part of just where they'll stretch, but also, your gauge is probably too big.
Yeah.
Which is the problem I've had with all my socks so far, except
He wants to show his book too.
I have one more.
So
Work in progress.
this sock, oh, I'll talk about my sock in a minute. But yeah, so I enjoyed this book. I'm considering buying it just because it does have some good things in it, but I really don't buy books, so I'm still kind of, I don't know. We'll see.
You could probably find a lot of that online or on Ravelry
Right.
as well.
So, because like her no pattern hat kind of sounded like your hat. No offense. But, so this new sock, I started a new sock. I tried to decrease the stitches.
Oh, you should show them the yarn that you got.
Yeah, I'm gonna show
Oh.
them. So so I went from 64 to 60 because I read another random blog that said just don't do 64. 64 never fits anyone. So I went to 60 because when I tried to do 56, I didn't feel like I could join it on my needles.
The first round is pretty tight.
Okay, but then after that?
But it stretches and it gets better after
Okay,
that.
because even with 60, my first round was too tight, but I think I might have done
that
it
that
really
first
tight.
round is always gonna be a little bit tighter.
So we bought some new yarn because I just wanted variegated,
So this
yarn.
is yarn that Tori got at Harmony when we went to Harmony.
yeah.
Which I'll put the footage from that at the end of this episode probably.
So here is, we've already taken off a couple of the layers, but it changes. Can you see? Oh, sorry.
Look, see, and if you dig in here, you can see there's a lot of different colors in there.
Yeah. So I mostly looked at the colors and I never looked at the neutral. But when I knit it, it's a lot more of the neutral than the color
So far.
so far. But I looked through it and it's all, the second color is usually like a brownish. So it'll be a pretty earthy sock, a little more earthy. But it's getting better when I don't know if you guys can see this. The very top, I guess I can stand up. I was like,
That looks good.
I am knitting a Butterfinger, like, because it was like the same colors as a Butterfinger, that brown and that like weird orange. And
That orangey yellow.
And then it turned to a lighter green, and I was like, oh, I felt like I just had to keep knitting to try to see it. But it's really interesting, and I don't think my socks will match at all based on how the colors are coming out and how the yarn is. I left the tag upstairs, but this is also a super wash.
Oh, I forgot. What kind of yarn was it?
It's something Bliss.
Oh, it's Debbie Bliss.
Debbie Bliss.
It's very similar to Zauerball, the crazy Zauerball. What's the...
I don't know, but it's a wool with a word that's not nylon. It starts, it's like polyamides.
Polyamide, which that's nylon. That's the European way of saying nylon.
Okay.
So this is made out of a yarn that does this, a very similar, it has like, the yarn is marled in color, and then
Yeah.
it has a long, like a striping.
So
Kind of
I'm learning
effect.
about how to pick out good yarn. Not that this isn't good yarn, but now I know kind of what will happen when there's two just twisted together and not the yarn just changes. So good learning
Oh,
experience.
the marl, yeah.
Yeah. So one thing that is different from this yarn than my other sock, which is good for new sock people, is it's a lot softer, I feel like, and it feels a little finer, but it
It's just
also
pretty fine.
it is also splitting a lot more. Like I said, my
Oh, yeah.
my needle was catching it, but I took it all off. I knit it onto double pointed, and then I put it back on this with it reversed. But so it's splitting because of those two things.
The plies.
But if most of the time it's not a problem. But if you had sharper needles, it would probably be a little easier.
Yeah.
But I did want to ask you, it just keeps twisting. Is that normal,
Yeah,
or is
that's
that
normal
something?
because
Okay.
it's stockinette,
Yeah.
and stockinette
Oh,
always rolls.
that's true.
So
Okay.
it's totally fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's normal.
okay, but I'm enjoying it, and I took it to a I did this much at I did all the ribbing at a conference, so that was really nice.
Oh, good.
So, and it's a 3x3, which I think I like better than
The ribbing.
Yeah, I like
The
it better than the
2x2.
or the 1x1. I'm like it's like not worth it. If
Yeah.
it keeps switching.
Yeah. I like 1x1 on sweaters, but for socks I just do 2x2.
Yeah, like on a sweater.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a
but
lot
it was
of
mostly
work.
just because you have to keep.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but I love the look of it on a sweater. On a sock I don't care. But
That's true.
Like-
This is 1x1.
yeah, so the ribbing on my sweater, for example,
I don't know if I've seen this sweater finished.
1x1. I wore it to, I don't know.
Oh, I have seen it. JK. I haven't looked at it.
Well, I have
JK.
I have
That's
Uno-
so funny.
I have Uno Mas work in progress.
Uno Mas. Ooh, it's your sock that
So
only
this is-
had this much.
Yeah, so this is my sock. I finally found my contrasting mini. This
Is
was
that
this
just-
is from a different sock set.
Is this all just one yarn?
Yeah.
A
So this is
self-striping?
this is a self striping. So this is my yarn is Knit Spin Farm. Corriedale sock. 75% superwash Corriedale, 25% nylon. And the colorway is Iris You Were Here.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Is that like a
And-
normal price for socks? Price. Good sock yarn. $28.
$28 for self-striping is actually pretty good. Self-striping is incredibly labor-intensive
Yeah.
to dye. And so, for hand-dyed self-striping,
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
get commercial
yeah,
stuff
like the patent
patents.
stuff is like $6 to $8.
Yeah.
I saw it on sale, but I was going out of town and I didn't buy it. Now I'm like, because it would have been $4. But anyway, side note.
So, I love this Corriedale. It's very
Ooh.
sturdy feeling, but not scratchy. Like, maybe if you had
The
to have it on...
patents is a little bit scratchy.
Maybe if you had to have it on your neck, yeah, like I can feel that prickle. But on my feet, that's not going to be a problem at all. And so, yeah, I'm just really liking the way it's working up so far. I showed them on the last episode, and it was right above the heel. So since then, I've knit this heel and from this little pink stripe up. You're fine, you don't have to.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, that's my last work in progress. I have, since I finished the shawl, I don't have like a deadline anymore because right before this shawl I was doing another test knit, so I had like deadline. And now I feel a little adrift because it's like I don't have any obligation.
That's how I felt before I got this yarn. I
So-
only got this yarn a week ago, so I feel like
Now
I've
I'm
done
like, okay, what am I gonna do? Like my options are endless, but at the same time I'm like not
too many.
I'm not feeling particularly. I have like 5 or 6 works in progress that I could pick up, but I don't really. I have 3 different sweaters.
Like that shawl, that crazy nice shawl.
Yeah, I have 3 different sweaters. I have my texture
Is
time.
that one still just?
I could pick that one up. Okay, so here's the thing: the Knit
I'm in
Girls.
suspense.
The Knit Girls do a stash dash every year, And since Laura's a teacher, it's from teaching. So I think it starts May 31st or something like that and goes through the end of August.
Oh.
And so you set goals of, like, I'm going to knit 5,000 meters of, or I'm going to do 5,000 meters or 10,000, and they have different goalposts. And last year I did 5,000, but works in progress count. So like, if I finish a sweater, the entire yardage for that whole sweater counts.
Oh.
So I'm kind of thinking I have my 2 Christmas sweaters for my husband and for myself. I want to finish during Stash Dash, and I think I want to work on Texture Time. So I think I might pick that up next because it's a big shawl. And so I could be working on that slowly, but then finish it during Stash Dash. So that way the entire yardage will count.
That would be
towards
awesome.
my goal. And it's totally arbitrary. Like these goals don't.
Yeah, it's just like self-motivating.
Yeah,
You're not getting
exactly.
$1 million.
And
But
so
it's motivating.
yeah, so I
Kind of
think
like, I can't get new yarn until I finish this one.
yeah,
That's very motivating because I didn't really love the colors of the patent socks.
yeah.
So, I was also going to say something else. That guy that made the shawl,
Yeah, Texture Time, Stephen West.
I went and looked at some of his stuff by happenstance. I think it was on Ravelry.
Yeah.
But there are some pretty crazy things.
Yeah, he's
but then
pretty out
some
there.
people that knit his
But-
patterns make it look
Yeah.
more palatable.
because he just has like bright neon colors.
I
He's
actually really
always-
like the neon. I think that's how I got on it because I was looking at
I like
neon
it too,
things.
but sometimes you're like, okay, that just seems not very accessible to me. Like,
Yeah, it's
doesn't
not the
seem like-
neon, it's like all of them.
Yeah, and like his outfits and the way he styles and his photo shoots
Yeah.
and stuff with the makeup
It's
and
just
the
a little different.
it.
What do you want?
But when you see one that you're like, oh, that's like something I could do, and that
Yeah.
color palette and that styled
Yeah.
this way, it seems a lot more accessible. And anyway,
Yeah. And as I've been thinking about sweaters, I think I'm opposite of you. I have a hard time like leaving the colors that I see or knowing that it'll look good
well,
together.
yeah, I think it just kind of comes
So
with practice.
maybe I'll just,
as well.
because that's my thing with sewing too, is with cloth, is I realize I have a hard time, like, it's really gives me a lot of anxiety, is picking cloth to go together.
I see.
Because it's really easy to be like, oh, I love all these, and then you like make it, and you're like, I'm also very judgmental of other people's choices. So that, like, 'cause I'm like, that really, like, that person obviously thought that looked good, and I don't think it does. But then it might make it harder for me to like, because I'm judgy, I guess.
I find like with something like
this though, this
like
is
these
really
blankets,
squishy, you
I
guys.
tend to be paralyzed with indecision. So what I've just been doing is I'm not planning it out. I literally pick my hand into the jar, as it were, and just pull out. Or I'll have my daughters do it. I'll be like, okay, pick out 2 skeins of yarn. Those are the next 2
Ooh.
colors I'll do. And so they'll pick them out, and that's mostly what I've been doing for these. And so that's been helpful to be like, you know what, whatever comes out is what I'm gonna do. So anyway,
Cool. So is that all your works?
that's all my works.
Okay,
so,
one last
because
thing.
I'm in between, and so I don't.
You guys, I also got these at Harmony. I wanted to show
Oh yeah,
them.
those are your.
These are my
earrings.
birthday earrings. Now my son is sitting on my chair. Excuse
And those are made by.
the store owner. right?
Yeah. So those are Darla
I-
Bird is
yeah.
her brand.
I like them. They're very light.
So they're her hand. She makes them.
Because I usually feel like my dangles are heavy, but
Okay. Well, keep in mind the Great Utah
yes.
or the Great Basin Fiber Arts Festival, whatever it's
We'll
called.
have to.
Okay, the
And you guys can
children.
come too.
The children are getting crazy,
It's
so
super crazy.
we're
And this
gonna-
one smells funny, so we probably should go.
Okay.
Yay! Hey, let's do the
Bye.
kids. Yay! All done. All right, peace out. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Kids do not cooperate. You guys were supposed to cooperate. Anyway. We're live. Okay, so we're at Harmony, which is this cute little store. I've always wanted to come here. I came here once before I had many babies. Probably just one baby. But they were closed because then they were only open Thursday to Saturday, and I've never come again. But now they have better hours, and I'm a knitter, so I'm more excited to go.
I'm
And the
here
yarn-
too, by the way.
And and Whitney said, and I want to get some earrings.
Oh, they have really. She makes really cute earrings.
I know, I see on Instagram, and I love earrings. So I'm really excited.
So this is Harmony.
It's so cute. And there's so many other cute houses on this road. I got distracted and I had to turn around. And this is the other reason I am coming. I told myself I wasn't going to go to Harmony and get new yarn until I finished my socks. And I finished both my pairs of socks. I've been wearing for 2 days. sorts of pickles at my house.